Hello, and thank you so much for joining us here at the Yoga Bo channel. My name is Boyce, aka Yoga Bo. We are so excited that you're joining us today, opening up a third video in our series of mind-body practices, focusing on different postures in each video. Thank you for taking this time for yourself. Make sure this practice is your own practice. Listen to your body. Feel free to take a pause here. Look at our modification and variation videos if you've not yet seen them. They should and could be helpful. Otherwise, if you're ready and you have your props with you, we'll go ahead and begin this wonderful practice. I'm here at Willow Branch Park in Riverside, Jacksonville, Florida. Absolutely loving life this morning. Ready to start the day feeling great. So thank you again. We'll go ahead and start today's practice in a supine position. So I'll go ahead and find my way on my back. To do so, you can either find your favorite hip and gently lower yourself down. You can also hold the back of your thighs if you like, and slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time. Once we're here, we'll take just a moment to center. Take some time to get that breath nice and elongated, feeling those inhales through the nose. Maybe too often we use our mouth to breathe, becoming mouth breathers. It's not a healthy habit. So we're just going to take this time, focus on those details, using that natural filter, feeling that belly rise on those long inhalations, feeling the belly fall on those exhalations. Feel free to use a pillow or blanket under your legs or your neck for comfort. Just take another long breath here. Maybe we're starting with that ujjayi, that ocean's breath, with that light constriction in our throat, as if we were fogging that mirror with our mouth still closed. We'll go ahead and bring that left foot close to our body, anchoring down the palm of that foot or the sole of that foot. On an inhale, we'll raise that right leg to the sky or the ceiling. Take your time. We'll start bending and extending that right leg now, lubricating the knee, getting ready for today's practice. Maybe we start bending and extending, flexing that right foot as well. Using our arms to hold our leg up, we're nice and relaxed. Just adding some lubrication to some of these joints we're about to use. Maybe on that next extension, we start making circles with the right toes in the ceiling, maybe in the sky. Maybe you're making fluffy little clouds with your toe. When you're ready, we can reverse direction. Bringing awareness to our body, using that long breath to wake up our mind. And then these detailed intentions, pairing that breath with these movements, will bring that right leg closer to the body and maybe start making circles with that right leg. Maybe you hold the right knee with your right hand, just making circles with that hip. Maybe each circle gets a little bit bigger. Again, make this practice your own. Do what feels right for you. Listening to our body. Everybody's different, all unique and special, all on our own path, yet connected. And when you're ready, we can go ahead and reverse direction. Listening for all those crackles and pops. As long as there's no pain, let the crackles continue. When you're ready, we can take that right ankle, cross it over our left knee for our supine pigeon, opening up that right hip now. Gravity will do its work. Otherwise, if you like, for a deeper stretch, we can bring that left leg into our body. The legs are relaxed. Maybe our Feet are flexed, just giving awareness, maybe shaking those toes so that we're relaxed, but we're still aware, still have this mindful movement. Feeling that right hip, maybe that right buttocks really starting to wake up and stretch, giving length. Length is great for the muscles and the soft tissue. I'm learning that. It's taken me 4 decades, unfortunately. Better late than never. We'll unbind our arms, unbind those legs, releasing the feet to the mat. Maybe we give a sway to those legs. Maybe we can already feel that right leg more spacious, more energized than the left. And when you're ready, we can bring those knees to center, keeping that right sole of the foot anchored down. On an inhale, we're going to bring that left leg up now, giving movement to that knee and leg, extending and flexing that left leg now so that our left leg can match the right. Maybe we start to extend and flex that left foot as well, bringing awareness all up our entire leg, feeling that deep stretch in the front of the leg as you extend. When you're ready, we can start making those circles with the left toe, big toe, staying with those long inhalations, that ujjayi breath. If you lose it, that's okay. You can bring it right back. When you're ready, we can reverse the direction of those circles or clouds with those left toes. We'll bring that left leg closer to body and start with those circles with our left hip. I'm going to start small. It's early in the morning for me, so I'm going to slowly open these circles up bigger and bigger, maybe using my arms for stability, making a wide base. Personally, I'm feeling a deep pop in this hip, so I'm taking my time as it lowers down. And when you're ready, we can reverse direction. But again, we're all different, so listen to that body. Do what feels right. We'll get into that supine pigeon by taking that left ankle now, crossing it over that right knee. Gravity can do its thing, and we bring that right leg in with our arms, still relaxed in the face, relaxed in the shoulders, relaxed in the legs. Now feeling that deep, deep stretch in that left buttocks or glute. Maybe use that left elbow to kind of press against your left thigh as you're bringing those legs in, opening that hip a little further. It's all up to you. When you're ready, we can release the arms, let the feet go a little wide, heel toe those feet a little wide. We can make these nice sways with our knees. Maybe you bring your knees in, hugging them. This kind of wraps up this nice warm up on our lower body. We can start to rock forward if you like. You can find your favorite hip and pressing up gently with that top hand, we can find ourselves now in a seated posture, sitting nice and tall in the spine, grounding down through those sits bones. I'm going to go ahead and get into my bound angle or Baddha Konasana. Palms of the feet are together. This is a great stretch for the inner thighs. If your feet are near your body, if your feet are further away, it's going to be a deeper stretch for your hips, maybe your lower back. For me, it's the early morning, so I'm going to make it dynamic and flap these butterfly wings. Every time they get close to the mat, maybe they get a little bit lower and lower. By all means, you can hold it static. If it's later in the day and you want it more restorative, that deeper stretch, we can then let them sit still, sitting tall in the spine, inhaling, keeping those shoulders back, and then exhale, we can hinge at the hips forward, not rounding that spine, not collapsing, but maintaining that strength and structure in our back. just hinging forward at the hips, giving this forward fold, not a forward collapse. By doing so, we're going to get a much better stretch in our core, in our lower back, and in our hips, in our thighs. But we'll also be getting some strength in our core, our back, our shoulders. This is a wonderful stretch for many parts of the body. You can open up your feet like a book sometimes if you really get deep into the pose, as those knees get closer to the mat. When you're ready, we can inhale, riding that buoyancy of that air coming into our lungs through the nose, up into that extended, nice tall seat. And when you're ready, we can send these legs or feet to the end of the mat for a seated twist. I'm opening up different variations of these seated twists just to give some variety. Here we go. I'm going to keep my right leg extended to the end of the mat, my right foot flexed just nice and gently. I'll take this left leg, I'm going to bring it up. The palm of the foot will be on the mat, and this left leg can be inside my right leg, can be outside the right leg. It can be however you like it. In this case, I'm going to keep it on the inside of my right leg. The goal, though, is to sit nice and tall through the spine, making sure that we don't collapse. Inhaling, the rib cage comes out of the waistline. Maybe we float those arms up on the inhale, nice and tall, slowly floating them up. And on the exhale, we can float that right hand down behind our glute, right glute as a kickstand. Bring your left arm to a 90-degree angle on the inside of that left knee, and we can start to twist. Sorry, I twisted in the wrong direction. If this gives you a bad vantage point, my apologies. But you'll notice on the inhale, we sit tall. On the exhale, we twist. And again, if you like to use that right hand as a kickstand, by all means. This left hand can be on your knee if this is more comfortable for your shoulder. This is the beginning of the practice, so nothing too deep. We'll be doing more twists throughout the practice, so no worries. And when you're ready, on your next inhale, we can just gently float our way back to center, taking that left leg, extending that long to the end of the mat. Maybe shake these legs out. We'll bring the right leg in now, the sole of that right foot down on the mat. I'm going to have it inside that left leg, that left knee. On the inhale, again, sitting tall. Maybe I'm using this right leg for a little assistance. Maybe I float my arms up. And on the exhale, nice and slow through the nose, I bring that left hand down now as that kickstand. The right arm can come to a 90-degree angle on the inside of that right knee. And I can twist on that exhale, always making sure that on the inhales, we extend and expand, creating space. And on the exhales is when we contract, we fold. At this point, we're rinsing out those organs. We're twisting that spine so that when we untwist, it's flushed out as we twist, flushed out all the toxins. As we untwist, it opens up, all that water can come in, those new blood cells. And on the inhale, we'll float our way back to center. We can go ahead and bring that leg out long, stretch them if you like. We will find our tabletop. So in this case, I'm going to gently roll to my favorite hip, keep the feet where they are behind me, slowly roll my way around into our cat-cow. We do this just about every practice because it's such a wonderful posture or sequence for our back, our spine, for the lumbar, and for the cervical, up top and down bottom. But before we do so, let's get strong on our tabletop, pressing down through the hands, pressing down through the tops of the shins and the tops of the feet. Hands under our shoulders, knees under the hips. Feeling strong in the abdomen. Maybe on your next inhale, you take that breath, tilting your head up, your tail up, Belly button drops closer to that mat for that first cow, keeping your shoulders away from your ears, shoulder blades close together. And on the exhale, gently lowering the head and tail, lifting that navel into our cat, pressing through the hands, the fingers. On that inhale, we can ride that breath, coming back to our cow, making sure we don't feel any pain in our lower lumbar. If so, we've gone too far. Exhaling, rounding that spine, staying with those long inhalations and exhalations through the nose. One more round. Inhaling into that cow. Still pressing down through the ground, still grounded and strong. Exhaling into the cat. And on the next inhale, we find our neutral spine. And we can bring our hands to the top of the mat, slowly lower down to our belly. Before we get into any heart openers, we're going to do a little prone boat. So we are relaxed in our legs. Our arms can be by our side if we like, palms down. Maybe the chin is resting on the mat. We can be relaxed. Maybe the shoulder blades are close together and our chest is open. Bring a pillow or blanket under your pelvic triangle if you like. That's what we're going to be using here. So on an inhale, we are just going to press down with our pelvic triangle, feeling our legs and our shoulders come off of the mat, maybe the top of our head. Maybe if we like, we can bring our palms off the mat gently, just a half an inch or an inch. On the exhale, if you like, you can lower down. As we inhale, pressing down with that pelvic triangle, the head and shoulders come back up. The legs can come up as well. Here we are working our abdomen and core. Our lower back is nice and taut. Our shoulder blades, our shoulders are engaged. Our legs, our glutes. Exhaling, lowering down. This is a very, very wonderful full body stretch, strengthener. Inhale, we press down through that pelvic triangle one more time. Last time, fullest expression. Maybe your arms are out wide, maybe they're in front of you, however you like. Exhale, we lower down. Finding the mat with our favorite cheek. We can take a bend in the knees, windshield wiper these legs, giving some decompression to that lumbar. And when you're ready, the feet can find the mat. The hands can find under our shoulders, spreading those fingers wide. We're going to find Sphinx here. So on an inhale, we'll press down with that pelvic triangle once again. We will bring the elbows under our shoulders now, giving some comfort to that pelvic triangle so it's not taking all the weight. Our forearms, our palms are on the mat and on the carpet. Our shoulders are away from the ears, shoulder blades close together. Crown is now shining to the ceiling. Heart is shining in front of you. For our Sphinx, the closer your elbows are to your body, the more of the stretch will be on your lower back. So if your elbows are further from your body, you're going to get a deeper bend in that upper and middle back. We'll almost want to be pulling with our elbows, pulling back towards our body, feeling the chest want to pull through your arms. This is a great throat opener, heart opener. We'll stay here for one more breath because it's just so important to combat text neck and bad posture. And as we exhale, we can lower down, finding the cheek, favorite cheek to the mat, taking a bend in those knees one more time, swaying those legs. All right, we can bring those feet to the mat, curl the toes. The hands can find the mat under our shoulders, fingers spread wide. On an inhale, we'll press down, keeping the elbows close to our body, finding tabletop, but exhaling through that into our child's pose. Big toes can be close together, knees close together or far apart. The hips will find the heels, I should say. Maybe the brow finds the mat, maybe a pillow or blanket. Arms can be stretched out front, giving our upper back a nice relaxed stretch. If you have any shoulder discomfort, we can always bring our arms to side body. You can be in our puppy pose if you have any knee discomfort or knee replacement. But we'll take just a moment to scan the body, getting ready to engage all of our muscles once again. Very excited for some new poses today. Hopefully this helps you in your personal practice. And when you're ready, we can bring those hands outstretched out front. And on an inhale, we'll press down through those fingers for our tabletop. We'll curl the toes, bring the knees about an inch off the mat. And on an exhale, the hips go high. We start to walk out our dog for the first down dog of the day. We won't be here long because we're actually going to get into dolphin for just a moment. But let's go ahead and stretch these hamstrings, the back of the legs. If you have tight hamstrings, by all means, you can keep a bend in the knees, but we're pressing through the fingers. We're reaching through the heels. Our back is nice and straight. Shoulders are away from the ears, shoulder blades still melting down the spine. And when you're ready, slowly you can take one elbow at a time, lower them down to the mat. If you need to take a deeper bend in the knees, by all means do so. Here we are in our dolphin pose. Elbows, forearms, palm on the mat. Our hips are still high. A slight variation of down dog. If you have any carpal tunnel hand issues, this is a variation for down dog. You'll notice the difference between this and our down dog, and this is why we're here. Let's start to notice the details of these differences. How our shoulders feel, maybe how those hamstrings feel, the calves. And when you're ready, one at a time, we can take one hand pressing through the palm, bringing us back to our down dog. Taking one more full round of breaths here, inhaling big, feeling those ribs expand, noticing the difference in our body. Exhaling, feeling those ribs fall. However, our core is engaged, so we're maintaining that strong structure. And on the next inhale, we can lift the heels. Exhale, take a bend in the knees, slowly walk our feet towards the center of the mat, walking our hands towards our feet. Keeping that as they walk up our body, maybe inhaling to that half lift. Slight bend in the knees for center of gravity so we can maintain balance. Our torso is parallel to the ground. Shoulder blades are close together. We are engaged in our lower back and our tummy. That tailbone is tucked slightly towards our heels. And I don't know about you, but after the down dog and dolphin, and now this, I am feeling strong. And on the next exhale, we can take a deeper bend in the knees, lowering down the torso into the thighs, giving ourselves a nice ragdoll forward fold, letting that head hang if it's in your practice. Otherwise, you can find us at mountain, child's pose. Maybe you're swaying side to side. Maybe the hands are on the mat for stability. We just want to be relaxed. Finding that long breath once again. And when you're ready, we're going to spread those toes. Take a little bit deeper bend in the knees, really rooting down, reaching into that tall mountain. Nice and slow, riding that inhalation. Reaching now through the fingers. Exhale, the arms can float to the side nice and slow with intention. Muscles engaged. Here we are in our tall mountain. Today we'll be doing crescent lunge and warrior one as we're standing, very excited. My feet here in mountain are rocking to find my best stability. Toes are spread, grounded through the feet, knees are not locked. Tailbone is pretty much always tucked slightly. Core is engaged, shoulders are looped up, back, and down. Ears are over my shoulders so I'm not projecting. Palms are shining forward so that my chest is open, shoulder blades together. Here we are in mountain. Everything is engaged about 20%. So I'm not standing, I'm actually in a posture. And if I was here for 5 to 7 minutes, I would be out of breath. So we want to remember that when we're here. Taking just a moment, we'll inhale, float those arms up one more time. We're going to get a little side stretch here. Exhale, we'll bring that right hand down. Maybe it's on our hip. As we exhale, we'll reach that left hand over top, giving our left rib cage a good stretch. Inhale, we can find our way back to center. Exhale, we'll float that left hand down now. Maybe it's on our hip, maybe it's by our side. We can be grounding now through our right foot as we stretch our right arm over top. By grounding that right foot down, it helps us maintain balance, so we're not falling over. Inhale, I'm going to ride this breath up. Exhale, my hands can come down to gratitude. All right, so here we go. We're going to get into our crescent lunge. Right leg goes forward. Left leg's going to come back as wide of a stance as you like. It is considered a full mat posture, but everybody's different. All of our practices are different. We certainly don't start there. But here we go. Our hips are square. We've got a bend in our front right knee, but we're going to make sure that knee is not projected over our heel or our ankle. That back leg is going to be straight or slightly bent. You can take as big of a bend as you like. You will feel that the more the bend, the more difficult it is. I tend to try to press my heel up against an imaginary wall behind me. So just pressing that heel backwards. I can really feel it in this left hip. Right here, I'm feeling it in my left glute. I'm also feeling it in my right thigh. The torso is nice and tall and extending, so our base is strong and grounding. Torso is extending. We're nice and tall, so we get space between our vertebrae. Inhale, we can float those arms up, framing our ears. We can bring them to gratitude. Notice I'm able to carry on a conversation here. I'm feeling this stretch. I'm actually feeling this for sure. The lactic acid is building up, but it's at a level where I can maintain it for, as I mentioned, 5 or 7 minutes in that standing mountain. We want to stay comfortable, but towards the edge of discomfort. And we'll notice every day these postures get a little wider and a little deeper. When you're ready, we'll go ahead on an exhale. Take that back leg, take your hips, open your hips and bring that back heel towards the mat. If you like, take a deeper bend in this back left knee. It certainly does not have to be straight at this point. We're getting into our warrior one. Now that back heel is down on the mat, our back left foot can be 90 degrees or maybe in a little bit. We've maintained the same structure on our front leg. It really hasn't moved at all. We've just brought the heel down and opened the hips. And here we are, still tall in the spine and the crown. So inhale, we can bring those arms back up if we like. Framing the ears. Exhale, we can twist that torso. Here we are in our warrior one. Very much like that crescent lunge. However, you'll notice we don't have a little bend in that knee or as much. The heel is down, the hips are open and not square. Here we can use any arm variation we like. This is great for shoulder flexibility, I find. This is great for shoulder strength. Gratitude is wonderful for balance, and for me, just peace when I'm learning postures. This is kind of my comfort arm pose. Once I get comfortable in the pose, then I can start eagle and doing some of those funky mudras and whatnot. This is your practice. Maybe your hands are on your hips or holding a wall. But I can tell you at this point, I am really now feeling it in the back leg and in my thigh. We've been here for a couple moments now. Let's stay with that breath as we come out of this. But we'll stay here for one more round just because it feels so good. Inhaling and expanding. Exhaling, feeling grateful. Maybe on the next inhale, we take the left toes, take the bend out of that knees, I apologize. Take the left toes, bring them to the long edge of the mat. Taking the toes, we'll heel toe us into a 5-pointed star. I love these, so the toes are pointed out a little bit. Heels are inward, our legs are grounded, knees are not locked, but they're straight. Tailbone is tucked. On the inhale, we're going to reach those arms out, maybe diagonally. This will be more for shoulders. If your shoulders are not feeling comfortable, maybe outstretched, shining through the crown, shining, reaching, quartering our body intentionally with detail. As we inhale, that diaphragm contracts, making it difficult to breathe. It's so odd, but that's how it works. Exhale, we can relax. Maybe we take these right toes, we bring them towards the long end of the mat now. We take the left toes towards what was the back is now the front of the mat. We're going to find that crescent lunge here on the left hand or on the right hand. No, on your left hand side, my right, since we're mirroring. And so here we are. I've got, you've got your left leg. The front knee is slightly bent. And as much as you like, just make sure that knee isn't projected over the heel or the ankle. That back leg is straighter. Your hips are square to the front of the mat. You're feeling it here in that back glute, your hamstring, you're feeling it in your thigh. I'm pressing that right heel against that invisible wall back behind me, feeling this deep stretch. But again, you can notice I can maintain a conversation, hopefully maintain balance. Feel free to hold a wall or a chair if you like. Tall through the spine. Inhale, you can bring those arms however you like them. And again, the best way to practice different arm postures, you can do Google searches. You can just make things up on your own. You can try binds. This is where the practice becomes your own. And this is where listening to your body is so important, because if your shoulders need some love, this is a good time to find an arm posture that will give it that love. Sometimes it's our neck, sometimes it's our arms, shoulders, biceps, knuckles. And when you're ready, we've been here for a while, we'll go ahead on an inhale, or on an exhale, we'll lower that right heel down to the mat, opening up these hips now. Maybe you can take that bend in that back leg if you like. Front leg should stay about the same where it was, finding that strength and structure in the base. Here we are in our Warrior One, open hips, great hip openers for all you runners, cyclists, something that I wish I had done when I was in my running, cycling heyday. But we'll go ahead and inhale, our arms up again, framing our ears or in gratitude, however you like. Exhale, we'll twist that torso to face that front knee. And maybe on the exhale, we sink a little deeper into this posture. Just spending a few minutes in this posture is great. The reason we make it a practice is because a lot of times we need to do some stretching to be able to get into these postures. I know I do, especially waking up. So that's why we have that full practice. There is a process and a reason we do certain stretches to build up to bigger poses. And that's where it makes it fun, because you start to invent your own and you start to make your own sequences, and your body has favorites, and it's good. Good stuff. So in Warrior One, hands in gratitude. Feeling strong, but slightly getting fatigued now. That lactic acid really starting to build up. Make sure you drink lots of water after this practice, but when you're ready, staying with those breaths, we'll go ahead on an inhale, take that bend out of the left knee, bring that left toe towards the long end of the mat. Here we are, heel toe to a comfortable spot. We've got that wide stance. We're going to find that 5-pointed star. Inhale, reaching through those fingertips, reaching through those feet, grounding both sides, all 4 corners of those feet down in that mat, pressing into the earth, extending that crown up to the sky, tailbone tucked in between those invisible panes of glass in front of us and behind us. We are a shining star. Inhaling bright, all of that clean air. Exhale. We can take our toes, bring them in slightly. We're going to keep this wide base. On an exhale, I'm going to hinge the hips just so slightly. I can use my hands to walk down my thighs. My core is engaged. Lower back is feeling nice and constricted. And I'll bring my hands down to the mat. If you can, maybe you've got a block and your hand is resting on a block or a prop, a chair, whatever you like. We're going to take some twists here with our right hand on the mat or on a prop with that nice forward fold in the hips. On an inhale, I'll float my left hand out wide and up. If you like, go as deep or as little as you like for this twist. We're twisting our spine. We're feeling it in our IT band in our right leg, right inside our right knee. Don't go too far. Maybe your arm is just outstretched, and that is great. But wherever you are, we're twisting the spine, our shoulders away from our ear. Inhale, feeling strong. Maybe it's not the most comfortable. As long as it doesn't hurt, though, we're strong. As you exhale, that hand can float out wide, finding its way to the mat. Maybe that prop. On the next inhale, we'll ride that breath, taking now the right hand out and up, twisting as little or as much as your body would like. And don't worry, if it's not as much as your expectations, well, your expectations were a little off today, and that's okay. You know, we're not supposed to be right all the time. And our body is more important than our expectations. That's what I'm learning. So I just listen to my body, knowing that every day is different. And as I exhale, I can bring that hand down, taking just a moment, feeling that deep twist. You can walk your hands behind you if you like. You can slowly start to rise, maybe walking your hands up your legs, however you want to get back. Maybe you walk heel toe your feet in, whatever you like. What we're going to do is we're going to just find our way, heel toeing our feet back to that mountain. Feeling good, feeling engaged, reaching tall. We're going to find our way back to the mat the same way we came up. On the exhale, I'm going to float my hands out, taking that hinge at the hips, the bend at the knees, stopping at that half lift. Feeling strong in the core, feeling strong in the back, shoulder blades close together. On the exhale, I'm going to forward fold. Taking a deeper bend in my knees so that I can relax my torso. Maybe sway side to side, holding the elbows. I'll finally find my hands to the mat. And on an exhale, I'll walk those hands to the top of the mat. Walk my feet towards the back, lowering down one knee at a time until I eventually find tabletop. But from here, we're going to try out camel. So I'm actually going to stay on my knees. Feel free to grab a pillow or blanket if you like. Here we are on our knees, the shins and top of the feet. still on the top or still on the mat. For camel, we'll take our hands, fist. This is a throat opener, chest opener. Make fists with our hands. Bring them right into our kind of sacral area, the right above our glutes. Keeping our lower ribs tucked into the spine. We don't want to arch. We're keeping our lower ribs tucked in. On an inhale, we go tall. And maybe we take a slight bend in the upper back. Again, keeping those lower ribs kind of close to that spine so we don't round too much. But hopefully your shoulders are opening up, your shoulder blades getting close together. Your head can start to tilt back. We are in camel. You can open your mouth. It's more difficult to breathe. You can inhale in this posture. Don't worry. Just take little sips of air. This is a wonderful throat opener. If you like, if it's in your practice, you can take a moment and bring your hands to your heels. Certainly don't have to. Work up to it. It is not easy at first. And when you're ready, on an inhale, we can ride that breath up, nice and slow, not to move our neck too fast. Maybe take those hands, open and close. Exhale, we can come down to tabletop, back into our child's pose. Hips can find the heels, nice and slow. Knees can be wide, big toes together. We'll take just a moment scanning the body after some of those new postures. Maybe we're catching our breath. Maybe we're finding those long inhalations again through the nose. Keeping with that intention, keeping with that mindful movement and mindful breath. On an inhale, we can press down through those palms and those hands, finding tabletop. We're going to do some puppy pose, threading the needle. I'll start on my left side to face you. So on an inhale, my left hand will float out and up. What's up? Shining bright, twisting as we did just a moment ago. But this time on the exhale, I'm going to float that hand down and through, under my body, threading the needle. This right hand can stay close to my body, or the arm can be stretched out wide. My left palm is shining at the ceiling. My core is still engaged. Inhaling, feeling strong. If you like for a deeper stretch, you can bring that right palm closer to your shoulder, maybe pressing up with the palm. You can feel that spine twist a little more, but it's only if that's in your practice. Otherwise, when you're ready, on an inhale, we can press down with that right hand under the right shoulder. As we do so, we can float that left hand back out and back up, opening up, shining. And on the exhale, that hand can find the mat. We're going to do the same thing now on the opposite side. Inhale, that right hand floats out and up, taking as much or as little of a twist as you like. Exhale, we can float that hand down under our body and through. Now we'll notice that our right palm is shining at the ceiling. Maybe we extend that left arm out in front of us, giving a nice stretch in our upper back. In this case, my left to your right. Really feeling those back rib cage open up. The space is so important. And again, if you want a little deeper twist, we can take that left hand a little close to our body, pressing down. Just gently, we'll notice a little deeper twist in that spine. But whenever you're ready, we can bring that left palm to the mat, inhale, we press down, bring that right hand under body. On the inhale, floating it up. Exhale, it can float down. All right, our gaze is underneath at the center of the mat. That's where we're going to find a seat. Here we are for our final posterior stretch. It's a seated stretch with our feet out long towards the end of the mat. We're sitting tall through the spine, grounding down through the sits bones. And on an exhale, I'm going to hinge at the hips, hinging forward, making sure I don't collapse in the spine. You don't want to round. That's just gravity giving us bad posture. Instead, we're actually going to hinge at the hips. You'll feel a deep stretch in your hamstrings. Maybe your knees are bent a little bit. That's okay. You'll feel that stretch all the way up your glutes, all the way into your lower back. This would not be a stretch for, say, your upper back. But it's just a forward fold. You can use a strap if you like. You can use a block or props to prop up on. Maybe you've got a pillow here for support. That's fine. If your abdominal muscles aren't strong as you'd like them to be at this point, where it gives you discomfort, by all means, it's better to have a pillow and to fold over it and to get the deep fold in the hips. And not collapse in the back. I believe it's better. You'll get way more benefit from that and less damage than just dumping everything down. And on an inhale, we can come back up, shaking out our legs if you like. Exhale, we'll find our back. We got some dog walkers coming up. Hey, how are y'all doing today? Good. Doing great, thanks. We'll roll our back down one vertebrae at a time. Once we're here, we can bring our knees in, rock side to side. Take a moment. If that tailbone comes off the mat, that's okay. And when you're ready, we can exhale, releasing those knees, letting the feet fall right where they are, near our body. The hands can come by the side for our bridge. If you like to do a wheel, if that's in your practice, by all means, go for it. I'm going to stick with the bridge today. And on an inhale, I'm going to press down with my feet, sending the hips up. My upper body weight is on my shoulder, the ledge that my shoulder blades have created. They're not on my head or my neck. And as I exhale, if you like, you can send those hips down, making this dynamic movement to our stretches. Inhale, we press to the feet, raising those hips up. I'm going to keep it static for right now. Maybe you place a block under your tailbone. Maybe your feet are pressing down and forward, and as you press forward, you feel your weight shift a little bit, feeling more of the bridge effect. Maybe feeling it more in those lower thighs, feeling the knee, soft tissue extend gently. If there's any pain, by all means, come out of this posture. We can always talk about modifications. And on the next exhale, we can slowly lower down to the mat, the hips finding the mat. We can bring those knees in one more time, rock side to side. And when you're ready, we can send those feet up to the sky for our inversion. We always want to wrap up with an inversion, let that blood flow from our feet and our legs down into our chest and our heart space. Maybe this time I'll take a half waterfall. To do so, I'm going to rock my legs up so that my knees are over my gaze. Then maybe I'll take a bigger rock, catching my glutes in my hands, keeping my elbows together. What we want is here in this half shoulder stand, this inversion, our legs are nice and relaxed. We don't have any weight on our head or our neck. There we go. We've got good posture in our back. We'll just stay here for a moment. Practice. Have fun with it. Try your legs up a wall. Getting comfortable with your body. It's amazing how enjoyable a cartwheel can be at 42 years of age if you feel like you can do one without hurting yourself. So yeah, I hate to say that I do yoga so I can do cartwheels, but in a way, that's one of the millions of reasons why I do yoga. So I can, if I choose to, do a cartwheel, I can. And all the other millions of activities that a healthy body helps. Healthy mind, healthy body. That's the goal, right? Well, enough rambling. When we're ready, we can go ahead and lower these legs, nice and easy, sending the feet down long to the end of the mat. Here we go, wrapping up the practice. So thankful. Letting go of those long inhalations, giving the mind a break, giving the nose a break, giving the body a break, give the soul a break. Let's give everything a break. Give my mouth a break and just be for 2 minutes. The silence is so nice. Maybe now's a good time to bring awareness just slowly back to our body. So grateful for those 2 minutes, so grateful for the last 45 or so minutes. And let's be real, let's be grateful for all this time we've spent with ourselves. I've said this before, other classes, but let's be honest, We've had one friend with us since day one person who's been with us through all the fears, all the adventures, the laughs, the breakups, the heartbreak, the victories and the defeats, and that's you. You are your best friend, you are your soulmate, you are the end all be all, and that's wonderful. Nobody loves you like you, nobody knows you like you. Thank you so much for being you. Thank you for taking this time for you. Thank you for recognizing you. You, I will say again and again, you are wonderful and beautiful. Keep telling yourself that. If y'all let me, I'd just lay here for the next 6 hours. So instead, I'm going to slowly bring awareness to myself. wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers, gently walking my feet to the body. Maybe you find yourself in a fetal position at your favorite side, or just lying on your side, grounding. For me, before I fall asleep, the sleepy yogi, I must rock my way back to a seated position, nice and gently, taking a few rocks, because why not? Here it is, a nice easy seat, sitting tall but relaxed, strong, confident, connected with myself, connected with you, connected with the environment, nature. Floating my arms up on that inhale, creating space. Exhale, relaxing into gratitude, bringing those hands to my heart space. The light in me loves, honors, and adores the light in you. I see you, not literally, I can't see any of you ever, but I do see you. I see you every morning when I wake up, and I see those views. I see it in the comments and the hearts. Thank you so much. Keep riding that wave. Namaste.